Oh, hi there! You might be wondering why I'm sleeping so soundly. It's because I already got all the tips and tricks to gain RP fast in this Season 9 of Apex Legends. So if you want to be like me and start climbing the ranks fast and gaining all the RP to get to whatever rank you want, stay tuned through the whole video. Remember to like and subscribe, and then have a good night's sleep.
So point number one that I'm going to hit is going to be the playstyle on World's Edge. So World's Edge allows you to play a lot of different styles. The style that worked for me a lot was getting early KP, either off drop or contesting, or taking a very early isolated 3v3, then rotating very hard using your recon character to hit beacon, and trying to figure out where the end game circle is going to be and taking the best spot within it to then wait, don't take any more fights, or kind of just play it safe and then wait for the end game fight, you know. But with World's Edge, you know, I've been on teams that love to fight a ton, but definitely fighting more on this map is way better than playing super passive. I don't really believe super passive teams really work all that too well. I think you really need at least 2 KP before you even think about like cooling down and trying to get like a late spot in zone and playing more for the end game win. You need at least 2 KP before the end circle fight. If not, you probably won't get enough KP to like max it out, especially if you guys win the game. The goal should always be win the game, but I think on World's Edge especially, you at least need 2 KP. So either that'll be like a contest early on your drop spot, taking an isolated 3v3. What you don't want to be is fighting, you know, in that mid-game area, and that kind of I want to go into now when to take fights. So unless you're super aggro, you probably started a fight, you know, while I was talking. Right now you're starting a fight somewhere, but you know, let's say you got some early KP and you want to take, and you kind of are going towards end zone. You figured out where you want to go, but you know, it's like round 2ish and you hear that there's a fight super close. You know, you should probably just check, are there any knocks? You know, is this a good third party? Because the last thing you want to do is have KP and get into a skirmish mid-game or third party a fight mid-game that then you get third partied, you know, and you just end up being a casualty and you die 10th, 8th with 3 KP, 4 KP, and you don't max that out, and it's kind of a wasted game essentially. So unless it's an ISO 3v3, or you know, it's a fight that you're thirding and there's already knocks and it's a quick wipe, like these are fights that you don't want to waste your time or even risk dying or getting third party or losing one teammate, because that'll ruin, you know, a possible win. It ruins that KP that you have. So you know, the play style is try and get that early KP and then try and play for late game and get the win. And then when should you take fights? Try and take them early, and then try and focus on your rotations. Only take a fight mid game if it's like like if you're really isolated and you guys think you have a shield advantage or something, or if it's like a quick, you know, third party that you guys can wipe, pick up some kills, and then be, you know, keep going. Especially with some of the loot situations in the season, it could work. But then, you know, at that point, cool down, try and get the best spot, and then wait for that, you know, end game fight to win the game. That's kind of where we're going with play styles and the fighting on World's Edge. Since we were just talking about, you know, contesting off of drop, and I did mention the loot situation, I want to just throw in like this extra little tip, and that's going to be to try and like land in high tier loot areas. Don't be scared to fight off of drop. I only say this because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the shield situation seems a little weird since they added like everyone drops the white shield. It appears that like there's not as many blue and purple shields that you can find off of drop. So even though like a lot of people want to contest countdown does give you a purple and 2 blues almost every single time. So try and land at a POI that has high tier loot, because it does seem like if you can get 2 blues and a purple, or even 3 blues out of your POI, you have a huge advantage, because it does seem like there's a lot of people running around right now with all whites, like once they leave their POI. So keep that in the back of your mind. Don't be scared to contest, because again, it leads into that early KP if you guys can win it, and you'll come up with a lot of good loot. So keep that in the back of your mind, because it's just been something I've been noticing going around while I've been playing this map. Now the next point that we're going to go into is we're going to talk about the best legends, the best team comps for this map. So there's already going to be, like always, those really good legends. The legends that are going to be, everyone will like a Bloodhound because of the knowledge. Jibby because of the bubble and the ulti and the quick res. Wraith because of portal, her movement, her Q back where she can get back out of trouble. Octane because of the jump pad. And then to this list of best legends, I am adding Valkyrie. I think her ultimate is extremely strong. Her missiles do actually do a solid amount of damage. They're very good for stunning, getting an angle on teams. And her jetpack, again, can get really good positioning on teams and just get a nice angle. But extremely, when it comes to her, it's really her movement. When it comes to her ultimate, is just ridiculous for getting you out of a bad spot and into a really good spot for rotating and jumping ahead of teams. It's really good in ranked or when you're thinking about like your rotations and getting out of trouble into a good spot, landing on a team. They're all very good. These are the legends I would recommend, but World's Edge being such a flexible and I think well-made map allows you to use a combo of legends as long as you build a good team around them. You should always strive to have a good movement legend along with a recon legend and then a defensive legend. But the legends I mentioned are still by far I think like my top tier, but I did mention in my best legends for ranked on World's Edge video. If you haven't checked that out, go check that one out. There might be a card somewhere here, but in that one I break down really every character for this map. But really these are the 5 legends that are like top tier. So Bloodhound, Jibby, Wraith, Octane, and Valkyrie would be like my top 5, and then if you have other preferences you can sprinkle them around, but that is for me my top tier for this map. And there is going to be this kind of bonus, kind of like rotation oriented tip that I want to throw in there. That is, I don't know if as unique to World's Edge, but it's unique to World's Edge in comparison to the map we just left, which was Olympus. Olympus being very wide open and there's a lot of ways to rotate into areas. World's Edge is very wide open, but at the same time there are some very hard chokes and there's maybe only 1 or 2 ways to get into an area. So when it comes to World's Edge and where the zones are pulling, always make sure to pay attention like where they are pulling. And like, why do I say this? Because sometimes a zone could pull in a direction where there is only one way to get into that zone. Like there's a very hard choke point. Like the sorting factory and where fragment is, there's like that hill that you have to go up and go through. Like there's some zones where it either ends on one side or it ends on the other side, and then like the only way to get in and out is that one hill. So you have to get through there early or you will get gatekept by a team that sits there, and either you will die fighting that team on the hill or both of you will get third party. So make a note of the zone, make a note of how many choke points there are. So let's say you're on like the Lava City side and there is a zone that's gonna go maybe Overlook. Well, you know that there's one, the cave, there is the hill in front of the geyser to get to that side, and there's the choke I just talked about. So there's 3 ways to get over there if you're going there. But usually the cave is a really rough one because there's usually a team sitting on that little like respawn beacon village area. And then the other choke from fragment to sorting is really transited. So really you want to take that geyser one, but you want to go as fast as possible because there will be, that area is very close. If there's a fight that starts there, it will attract a lot of teams. So that's when I want you guys to be smart about your rotations. It's much better to get through those chokes as fast as possible than stay out late when there's more of a chance a team will be sitting on that hill. So that is my like bonus rotational tip, because there's a lot of little areas, if you guys notice on World's Edge, where that issue can come up. Let's quickly talk about the gun meta. What are the best types of guns to use on this map? And again, just like I say with the legends, there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of variety with the guns. You always want to make sure one of your teammates is running at least a long range weapon, whether that is the bow check, the scout, sentinel, even triple take if you guys can get it out of the care package, the Kraber, obviously, guns like that are longer range weapons, even the 301, the Hemlock. You want to make sure that your teammates have a long range weapon because again, there's a lot of open area on World's Edge as well and a lot of end zones, so you want to be able to have that range. But then again, there do seem to be a lot of moments on World's Edge where it ends up being a PK fight, a Mastiff fight, an EVA 8 fight, So make sure you guys are carrying those shotguns. So I used to in the past always run close range weapons, even on World's Edge. So I would still run like R9 PK, R9 Mastiff, stuff like that. So that is still a viable comp, just like running a shotgun with like a scout or a hemlock, like a longer range and then a short range weapon, or like a mid range like the 301 and then a shotgun. So this comp, it's really, there's a lot of options, which is why I don't want to do this, like make this too long, because you can really just run a lot. There's not like everyone has to run long range or short range. You can really run whatever gun you feel comfortable with, as long as it's not just like you love the P2020, the Mozambique. Literally any other gun will probably work. So now it's time for Simba's hot take. So first of all, loot pool seems kind of whack. It's hard to find good armors at like most drop spots. Like it feels like sometimes you're always leaving with 2 whites and a blue maybe, or all 3 whites. It's rare, unless like I said earlier, you can test like a really hot spot like Countdown, that you really get a lot of high tier armor. It also seems like you always have a ton of shield cells or syringes. Like it never seems like you find a ton of med kits, or especially shield batteries. So the loot pool's kind of whack right now. I don't know if that's just me, but it's something I've been seeing on Twitter. But obviously, you know, as well, we all had the bow check arrow nightmares that happened, but thankfully the devs at least fixed that a little bit. It does seem a little bit better. It's still annoying, and like the sound seems still off, but I think it's still a great addition, and I think they fixed that really big issue. So hopefully, you know, that keeps getting better. But in general, like I think the season's been really great. World's Edge is a perfect map, and I think it's been a lot of fun to play. This map really allows a flexibility with the team comps, what guns you can use, how you play. So I think this is just a really fun map. It's why I think it's the best map in Apex, and it's why everyone loves when it comes back, because it's just a lot of fun. Even ranked grinders enjoy it a lot more, casual players enjoy it a lot more, and it's just a lot of fun. So that is really my hot take for this split so far. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys watched it all the way through so you didn't miss any tip. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit those notifications if you guys don't want to miss a short, a live stream, a video. Keep it locked to my Twitter as well for any updates. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys at the next one. Keep grinding.